There are very few faces on television that feel like family. You know the ones, the hosts who have been there through the chaotic elections, the national tragedies, the confusing headlines, and the moments where we just needed a good laugh to keep from crying. Jon Stewart is at the very top of that list. For decades, he has been our sharp-witted, bagel-loving, pen-clicking guide through the madness of the world. But recently, the man who usually anchors us needed an anchor of his own. In a move that has left fans reaching for the tissue box and hugging their loved ones a little tighter, Jon Stewart stepped away from the political satire and the jokes to share a piece of heartbreaking family news. It was a moment of raw, unscripted vulnerability that reminded us all, behind the desk and the suit, he's just a guy who loves his family deeply and is hurting just like the rest of us would. This is a tough one. If you followed Jon's career, you know he doesn't often bring his personal life onto the stage. He's fiercely protective of his wife, Tracy, and their children. But there has always been one exception to that rule: his animals. The Stewart family isn't just humans, it's a bustling, chaotic, love-filled sanctuary of rescued pit bulls, horses, and farm animals. And at the center of that beating heart was a presence that Jon recently had to say goodbye to. With a voice that cracked under the weight of the moment, Jon shared the news that has sent a wave of sorrow through his fan base. He looked into the camera, not as a pundit, but as a grieving dad, and admitted, "This is a tough one." For anyone who has ever loved a pet, that simple phrase is enough to break your heart. It's the code we all know. It means the house is too quiet. It means looking at the empty spot on the couch is physically painful. It means the goodbye came too soon. Jon opened up about the loss of his beloved three-legged dog, Dipper, a brindle pit bull who wasn't just a pet, but a co-pilot. Dipper was the dog who came to work with him every single day. He was the greeter of the Daily Show offices, the silent support system in the green room, and the best boy who waited for Jon after every taping. He was ready, Jon said, fighting back tears in a clip that has since gone viral, reminding us of the cruel bargain of loving a pet. He was ready, but I wasn't. The moment the character dropped. We are so used to seeing Jon Stewart the fighter. He fights for 9/11's first responders on Capitol Hill. He fights for veterans. He fights against hypocrisy. Seeing him stripped of that armor, just raw and weeping over the loss of his best friend, hit a different nerve. He described Dipper not as an animal, but as family. He talked about how his kids, now grown, were there to say goodbye. He talked about the unique, soul-deep bond you form with a rescue animal who has seen the rough side of life and decides to trust you anyway. In a world of good boys, he was the best, Jon whispered. It wasn't just celebrity news. It was a mirror reflecting our own grief back at us. It was a reminder that no matter how famous, successful, or busy you are, grief stops time. It demands to be felt. The internet rushes to hug Jon Stewart. The reaction from fans was immediate, overwhelming, and beautifully human. Usually, the comments section of a political show is a war zone, but not this week. This week, the internet put down its pitchforks and picked up its heart. Within minutes of the news breaking, social media was flooded with tributes. But they weren't just right messages. Fans started sharing pictures of their own lost pets, creating a massive digital wake to honor Dipper and support Jon. "I've watched Jon for 20 years and never cried until today," one user wrote on X, formerly Twitter. "Go run free, Dipper. We got your dad's back." The way his voice broke, "That's the sound of real love," another fan commented on Instagram. "Sending all the love to the Stewart family. Losing a dog is losing a family member. Period. Jon has carried so much for us. I hope he feels us carrying him right now." Read a top comment on YouTube. It was a rare moment of unity. It didn't matter who you voted for or what your politics were. If you've ever had to say goodbye to a furry soulmate, you were Team Jon that day. Why this hits so hard right now? Why is this story resonating so deeply? Why are we all crying over a celebrity's dog? I think it's because, in 2025, we are all a little tired. The world feels heavy. The news is often scary. And Jon Stewart has been the guy telling us, "It's crazy, but we'll get through it." To see him in pain feels like seeing your dad cry. It's unsettling, but it's also incredibly validating. Jon didn't try to hide the pain. He didn't issue a stiff press release. He sat at his desk, wiped his eyes with a tissue, and showed us that it is okay to not be okay. He reminded us that grief is the price we pay for love, and that the bill is always worth it. My wish for you, John told his audience, effectively closing the book on the segment, is that one day you find that one dog who is the best boy. The Dipper Legacy. The beautiful thing about the Stewart family is that they turn their love into action. John and Tracy run a farm sanctuary. They don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. Dipper was a rescue who lost a leg but found a life. While the news is heartbreaking, the legacy is undeniable. Because of John's tearful tribute, thousands of people are looking at their local shelters this week. People are donating to animal charities in Dipper's name. An old three-legged dog who just wanted a warm bed has inspired a movement of kindness. That's the power of love, and that's the power of John Stewart. We're with you, John. To John, Tracy, and the kids, take all the time you need. We'll be here. The jokes can wait. The political takedowns can wait. Right now, the only thing that matters is honoring a very good boy who changed a very good man's life. Rest in peace, Dipper. You were the best boy. Do you have a heart dog or a pet who changed your life? Grief is heavy, but it's lighter when we share it. Tell us about the animal who stole your heart in the comments below. Let's keep the wave of love going for the Stewart family and for all the pets waiting for us at the Rainbow Bridge. Share this article to pay tribute to Dipper. Hug your pets a little tighter tonight. Donate to your local shelter if you can. It's what John would want. We love you, John. Hang in there.